Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we're back with another slime video. And twice a month, like clockwork, everybody's favorite sweaty event is here, Jubilee Catalyst 12. And continuing the trend of very specifically needing every single meta unit, this one is pretty awful. But the normal battles are where a chunk of your, chunk of where your points are going to come. So that's good at least, and those are type neutral. So let's begin with always the three disclaimers. Number one is that your scores may vary. To be fair, my win team for this meta is kind of ass, so if you don't have it, obviously you'll score even worse, but if you do have it and they're higher than mine, then congratulations, you'll do better than me. So scores may vary is disclaimer one. Disclaimer 2 is the protection gauge traits that we have, so Dark Millum, Earth Millum, Gazzle. The new trainee also gives protection gauge for the first 3 turns, so that's helpful. And also Light Rimuru, he makes an appearance here as well. And then the third disclaimer is don't forget to prioritize your magic buildings in town for your outputs for wind and all the other elements you're going to use throughout this fight. So with those out of the way, let us begin. I'm currently number 3. I don't expect to stay there because I'm pretty much done tryharding this. Maybe I'll try normal battle 1 a little bit more, but my boss battles are about as good as they're gonna get, so there's not really any point for that. But I will make a separate video using not the meta teams versus the boss battles, so you can get an idea of at least how to score something there, right? Space team's gonna work. We'll see if the light team can work. We'll do a couple different things, but that's not the point of today's video. Let's dive in to normal battle 1. Alright, so this is the team that we used for normal battle 1. Certainly you can get away with using Hakuro. That's what I did, I think, during the stream last night. But we ended up going with Veldora, Carrion, Frey, Millum, and Hero, and that is just so we can get as many stacks of Space Veldora as we can to offset the turn bonus that we lose, because all the normal battles you want to kill turn 3, but difficult to get the amount of points for the buffs that you want for the Space team by turn 3. Very clearly possible if you have godly RNG, but not really feasible for most people who don't want to sit there for 2 hours plus for one run, right? So I think this run goes to turn 6, and this is still my highest score that I've gotten out of it. And I could probably get more if I could cut it down to like turn 4 or turn 5, but it works out. So let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. Pre-recorded as always, because I'm not making the mistake again of not recording on any of my runs, and then getting the run and then hating my life because I can't replicate it again. So I believe this is the 85k run. So turn 1, you need Carrion or someone else to orb change into a full hand of blues. Thankfully that gets us, a very good amount of protection gauge to start off with. So they raise their physical resistance, so you want to attack with magic damage dealers. So the hero's ult is magic, and then Millum, everything is magic, so that's very good. So we're going to bring Millum in, and we're going to work on her ult, and we're also going to work on the hero's ult, because you ideally either want Millum and the hero, or Millum, hero, and Carrion, but that's asking for quite a bit of RNG. So we're going to spread the damage out, because we don't want to kill all of them, and they're pretty tanky to begin with. So turn 1, just send 2, 2, and 2. Millum will damage the last one a lot. Sometimes she crits and sometimes it dies. Doesn't really matter. In fact, if it dies, it's probably better because you take less damage. So here, we're going to stack with Veldora. And we don't really get an incredible hand. So we kind of have to make do with it. And now, if you got really good RNG on turn 2, you could definitely, cut down the turns that you'd have to do. But here, we're just going to send the greens because we want them out of here. We want, more blues and more oranges. That way we can orb change. And here we go. Turn 3, it worked out. So we can again use Veldora, get that space damage stack, get the point stacking, and then we can use Carrion's orb change again and, you know, kind of make up for that extra 45 points that we just had to spend. So here we're going to send it, and these should die, and then we'll move on to the second phase on turn 4. And we have not used the rewind yet, because we don't have ults yet. So, but here is pretty good, because we can get Millim's ult, and use the rewind, and get a stack in, so that's pretty handy. So we can get the green, we can get the blue, we can get the orange with Millim, we can get her ult, and then we can move forward. We might as well just kind of spread the damage out, as again, get them as low as possible. Oh, we didn't use the rewind. Oh. Never mind. This was like an hour and a half ago. Alright, what do we do here? So we Drago, and then send her away. Interesting. For Frey. And then I think we rewind and use her orb change here. Yes, okay. So we'll get a 5 hand of blues. No rewind. What am I doing? Come on, Joker, get your shit together. Okay, so we're prioritizing the hero ult. Okay, interesting. Alright, so we're getting the 3 with heroes. So now we're on turn 6, so we don't even use the rewind. If you're a smarter person than me, you probably would have used the rewind earlier. Yeah, maybe that's how I'll cut down my turn when I try this stage again. So we've got plenty of points though, 200 points. We've already used the Drago, so we've got enough to use everything. So we've used the alt boost, we're going to bring Millim in. We'll use the stack of Veldora. I think that's the 4th stack, I believe. So, yeah, the 4th stack. So we'll use the crit, we'll use the space boost, we'll use the crit boost from Carrion. The Drago's already in effect. So here, we can't really send any other orbs because they'll just die. So we just kind of have to nuke with Millim and then nuke with the hero and call it good. So 149.7 from Millim is very nice, and then the hero does 53.9 to each of those. So definitely had a misplay or so in there, and you know, based on that, you can definitely increase your score. But 85k is fairly decent considering a lot of scores I've seen have been in like the 60s, low 70s. So if you use the Hakuro strat, you could probably get into the 60s, 70s. But if you were looking for, you know, all of that overkill, because the overkill damage multiplier is actually pretty decent at only a 0.2%. So you can easily offset the turn bonus that you lose, and then if you do it faster, then obviously your turn bonus will look even better. Because I think one of the sweaty tryhards is at like 97k for this, and he did it like turn 3, which I don't think I can do, and I'm not going to sit here and try for it, but that is normal battle 1 with the space team. Let's move on to normal battle 2. Alright, so this is the team we use for normal battle 2. Again, it's a variation of the space team because the space team rules everything. So we've got Cabby now this time, because we're starting out with a full hand of greens, and we're looking for a good amount of greens. I've got Valentine, newly leveled to 88, thank the Lord. Not that it really matters, I still don't have her awakened trait yet, but hey, it's another dupe in Valentine that I didn't have for 6 months. Can't believe that. Anyways, the hero, Ranga here for that turn 1 orb change, because it's a 2 orange and 4 green, so he will be necessary, or whoever else will do that for you. And then we've got Millim, and then we've got Wind Millim for the alt boost. And Trainee is attached to her for that extra protection gauge for the first 3 turns. So you could very easily replace Valentine for Carrion and get that extra 15 or extra 20% crit damage buff, but during my runs I found that I do not have good enough RNG to get all of the greens that will give me all of the points necessary to use everything, so I ended up using her instead. So my score could improve a little bit, but again, do you want to sit here for 3 hours? Probably not. If you do, there you go. But let's begin with this team. Alright. Into the fight. So like I said, turn 1 you are orb changing with Ranga to get that full hand of greens. these orcs are pretty tanky, so even a 6-card send will only kill one of them, and it won't even touch the other one. And, I mean, like, my hero is maxed out, my Milim is maxed out, both of my Milims are maxed out, so it's like, I can't really get much more damage out of them unless I use a buff. So you're only going to kill one orc turn 1, which is good, because, you know, less damage taken the better. So we're just going to prioritize sending 6 greens, we're going to use Cabby next turn, and then pray that we can get a bunch of greens, that way we can raise up our points very fast. Get Milim's ult, use the rewind and everything. So right here we have, I think, a 5-card send after using Valentine, which is okay, because, you know, 5 greens boosted by Cabby is still a crap ton of stuff. So we'll use the rewind here, and then we'll bring in Valentine for Wind Milim. There we go. And then we'll use her orb change. This will get Milim's ult, thankfully. I was really hoping it would change the other blue Milim, but it doesn't really matter, because we have Milim's ult now, and we have a lot of points, which means we can send her away with the Drago, and I believe the space boost. And we didn't actually kill that orc here, which is actually kind of good. So, yeah, we have maximum points now. So we're going to use Drago, we're going to use the space boost, and we're going to send her away. That way we can hold on to all those buffs, bring her back in after the next turn. We can use Cabby again to raise the cap even more, and we've got 4 greens, which will give us more than enough points to use the ult boost and the crit boost. Technically, we would have had enough right here for the crit damage boost from carrying as well, but we wouldn't have been able to do that because we wouldn't have the green orb change. So 142 points again. The orc is dead. Moving into turn 3 is perfect, because that's where you want to kill, and we have enough points to do literally everything that we want. So go ahead and bring in Wind Milim, use the ult boost, or we'll bring in Space Milim as well, it doesn't really matter. We're going to use everything. So Milim and Milim are coming in for Valentine and Ranga. Use the crit boost, the ult boost. We could have used the guard penetration, but he's not guarding, so not really important. We have another Cabby meter, it's fine. He only has 27,000 health, so I'm only really confident in sending 1 orb, because Milim is quite boosted. So anything else, and we probably would have died. We send a hero as well. So we wouldn't have been able to send 2 Milims. Maybe we could have sent like a 3rd hero card, but we ended up killing anyways, and we still get a very decent score of 50,000. So that is the highest that I've gotten on normal 2 so far. Again, bringing Carrion, getting that RNG will increase that score immensely. You know, getting the orc down to even less health on that turn 3 will also help, but I mean, 50k is pretty decent. So that is normal 2. Let's move on to normal 3 now. Alright, so normal 3. You might recognize this team. Looks very familiar, doesn't it? Same team as normal 1. It works out. So again, we're just stacking and stacking and stacking with Veldora. Frey is here to ensure that we can get as many stacks as possible, and then, you know, the typical buffs, Carrion, Milim, Hero. So this Centipede has a crap ton of defense. Like, you do not do damage to it unless you are ulting, or unless you somehow hit that 20% chance where he doesn't guard your attack. You do less than a K, even with my 100 Milim. So really, nuking on turn 3 you definitely can do for like the maximum turn bonus, but you will not have enough points, generally speaking, to use everything and like get big mommy damage numbers. So I believe I kill turn 6 with this team, just like normal 1. Funnily enough, I just realized that. But we do a lot more damage, because we've gotten a lot more stacks. So that's the name of the game. Let's dive into the gameplay. Alright. So starting out, we don't have a proper orb changer for what we want to do. I did not bring a blue to green changer. So what I do is I pray to God that we get some good RNG. I bring Milim in, I bring the hero in. They have, you know, protection traits attached to them and everything, and we're just going to send the greens first and pray that the second hand we can get as close to a full hand of blues that we can start stacking. And we surprisingly do right here. We get a Frey hand, which is great because we brought Frey for that exact purpose. So we're going to swap, I believe, Carrion out. Yeah, because I don't really care about his trait right here. I want the protection traits from Hero and Rimuru more. So, and Windmill him. Get her back in. So we got triple protection traits going on for turn 3. Full 6-card send to blues. Double Veldora stack right here, so we can use that. Just getting Milim as buffed as we possibly can. Turn 6 is where he loses all of his defense and guard, so that is the ideal turn to nuke. You can push it further, but the chances of you just accidentally killing him are high, because he doesn't get any more defense and he becomes quite squishy. So turn 6 is where you really want to shoot for maximum value. So working your way and making sure that you can get all the buffs, you can get Milim's ult, and get as many stacks of Veldora as possible is important. So we brought Milim back in. We've got, double stacks of Veldora. We're going to use the rewind here, and we're going to send these 3 oranges and pray that we can get a very good hand of blues next turn to get, more stacks. And I think it works out very well. What do we get here? Yeah, it works out because we have another Frey hand, and the fact that we've used it twice now, it doesn't really matter because we're getting stacks of Veldora, which is increasing the points we're getting, so it's offsetting itself. So stacks on stacks on stacks is what's important here. We're still doing under 1,000 damage except for the final 200% hit, which only does 1,500. So it's like that's proof that this thing is quite tanky. We have a hero ult here. Not that it really matters. I think I use it anyway though. So we don't have a Milim ult yet, which is highly unfortunate. So we're gonna get her out of here. I think. We're to stack first, and then I think we get her out of here. Because I want to bring her in on the next turn for whoever has the most orbs. That way we can at least get her ult, because that is the most important thing. And I'm pretty sure we just used Frey's orb change again. It's like 3 times we've used it now. Yeah, 70 points. It's like, it's a high cost, but we make it all back almost. Yeah, we make 104 back, so it's like, cool. The stacks of Veldora are really coming in clutch of, giving us the points back. Because at this point, I think we're getting about what Cavi does as far as points is concerned. Guard 586 damage is pretty awful. Alright, so we're on turn 5 now. And we need Milim's ult. So we're going to bring her in for the hero, because I need her ult now. Alright, Milim's come back in because we want the protection trait again. Sad that we got the hero out of there, so we're missing that, but it'll be okay. So we've got 4 orbs for Milim, over 200 points, so we definitely have enough. We don't even need to hide her anymore. We can just use everything here, doing literally 1 damage. So here, we have 1 more stack of Veldora, so I think that's, 5 or 6 stacks right there of Veldora? I don't remember, math is hard. How much point are we up to? 300 points? Oh, yeah, it's 5 stacks of Veldora. Sorry, math. Alright, so we're going to use everything. We're going to use Space Boost, Drago, Alt Boost, Crit Boost, Hero Buff, everything. Everything is on the line right here. We have enough points to do everything. It is turn 6. All of the guard and defense for the Centipede is gone. So now, you must remember that your Milim is quite strong. And I had many, many attempts where I thought that it would live, and it did not live. I had like 3 different times where I had perfect turn 6 hands, ready to kill, and then I sent too much, or I underestimated the power of Milim, and it died. So, really take into account, remember how much damage your Milim does, and make sure to calculate that in, and don't be a fool like me. So we're going to send 1 Milim orb. 1. Singular. And that is lucky, because we could not have spared anything else, because she does 21-2. And then 169-3. Nice. Turn 6, and that gets us a final score of, I think, 68,000 or something? Yeah, 68.7, which is by far my highest score. Like, you can see the giant point jump I get right here. Like, 9,000 points. So, yeah. just about 9,000 points. So that was very, very good. That's what pushed me into number 3 right there. So that is the strategy for normal 3 using the space team. You could definitely try and use the light team and, you know, build up a lot of Pierce. I'll show that off probably next video, but there is other strategies you can use. Certainly you can still go for a turn 3 kill if you just don't have a space team or the light team, but yeah. Let's move on to the fun parts. Boss battle. Alright, so boss battle time, and this is going to be the team that we use. Obviously it's going to be the new meta team. Again, I will make a video going over some alternate strategies if you followed my advice and didn't summon on this meta, because I really don't think it's that cool and all. Diablo looks nice. Trainee is definitely very, very hot. Dino's first involvement here, so that's good. Geld in the running for probably best free-to-play unit because of both of his skills, but not a team that I recommend you summon for, especially since it's only useful for this one event at the very end of the month. We know that the water meta is next, and we can very likely guess it's going to be some very hype waifus, so take your pick. You want Diablo Dino, or you want Swimsuit Shuna, Xion, and Sokka, and I don't know. I want them more than I want Diablo, I'll tell you that much. So, Gabiru, Cabby is attached to them. Geld, Windmill him for the alt boost. Trainee for her trait, for her orb change, her special orb change, because that is necessary on turn 1. You can also use Frey. She also has the same orb change, which is really nice. You just saw how useful that was in the last clip. Dino for his double debuff, well, technically triple debuff, since one of them does double duty. And then my noodle of a Diablo, level 80, for the DPS. So, this is boss battle 3, so obviously it's going to be the same team regardless, because it's the win team. So you can apply it to boss battle 2, and I have a clip for EX as well. So let's go ahead and unpause this, and we will dive into this clip. It does require a tad bit of RNG if you're going to use this team, because ideally on turn 2 you do not want any orange orbs, because you don't want to have to use Geld's orb change. You want to use his giveaway, but not his orb change. So turn 1 you will use Trainee's orb change, bring in Diablo, and then send 6 blue. And that will get you almost 2 full meters of Gabiru. And then, so let's skip all this, come on, there we go. Alright, so turn 1, we've got the extra trait from Trainee, that's why we're starting off with even more protection gauge now. Use her orb skill, orb change, bring Diablo in for Wind Millum, because I want to prioritize his ult, and I don't want to do too much damage because Millum does hit harder than my Diablo, because she is 100. So, sending all 6, literally almost 2 full meters of Gabiru. Because Trainee is not 92, we don't get a full double meter right here, but we do get lucky, and we get that, you know, that second hand of no oranges. So that allows us to do 3 things. So 1 is use Diablo's attack boost, and then we're going to use Gabiru. Actually, it does 4 things. 4. So, attack boost, Gabiru, orb giveaway, and then the wind boost with Trainee. I believe I should use here as well. Should. After we swap out Geld, because his usefulness is just about gone, mostly. And there we go. So we bring Windmill in to take also into the wind boost. Actually, no, it doesn't apply to her. Right? Is it everybody? Hold on. Or is it 1 unit? I think it's everybody. Now no, it's only 1 unit, so it doesn't even matter. I didn't even have to swap Millum in, but whatever. So we do, you know, good damage right there. Now, we still have the wind boost. We still have the attack boost. Diablo has an ult. He doesn't need to be here anymore. So you could, and I could, kill turn 3 right here. But I want to apply some extra debuffs and make sure that our ult does as much damage as possible. So here, we're going to put both of Dino's debuffs on. So 40 points right there. And then, we're going to bring Geld in. after using Gabiru. And then we're going to get another 6-card send of blues. Make a bunch of points back. Make sure that we have enough to use both the Windmillum alt boost and Diablo's crit damage buff, or crit boost, crit rate. So we have double Gabiru here, so that's 30 guaranteed points, because he gives us 15 each every time we use him. And we have 64, so we definitely have enough to use it, because I think we need 80, 55 and 25, yeah, 80 points to do both those skills. So we're ready to go right here. So we'll alt boost here, and then we will swap her out, I believe. Yes, for Diablo. And then we will use both Gabirus, get 30 points back, and then we will have enough to use Diablo's crit damage. And then we're going to go ahead and send all 4 of those blue orbs, and then the alt, and then we shall kill. Boss Battle 2, the difference between 2 and 3, I think, is actually pretty significant, based on how much damage you can do with Diablo's alt versus him actually dying. Because there are a lot of times where I don't have the hands, but I have like a fully boosted alt, and it don't kill. So, 118 right there is very, very good. Turn 4 is 1 turn after you'd want to do, but again, I don't have the points to do it. So 94.5 on Boss Battle 3 I think is pretty respectable. It increased my score by a whopping 100 points. So, there's only so much my noodle Diablo can do. But let's move on to EX. That way you can see what I had to do for that stage. Alright. Boss Battle EX is significantly more difficult, obviously because he has a lot more defense, a lot more health, your units do less damage, so really setting up the turns is important. The strategy is still the same though. Orb change turn 1, ensure that you don't have a terrible hand on turn 2. Ideally you'd want like the no oranges, but I don't know what's wrong with me or my game, but it likes to give me triple oranges on turn 2, and I don't really like that. And he also don't like that he guards. So we got 1 orange there, which is okay, we can work with that. So I believe we kill turn 4 here as well, which is incredibly lucky. Normally on EX I kill like turn 5. So here, do what we can do, since it's an orange Diablo orb. We don't actually have to use Geld's orb change, because we're going to give away all the blues to Diablo anyway. So, does it really matter that we have 1 orange and 5 blue Diablos? Apparently it does. So, maybe a misplay on my part right there, but, oh well. I wanted maximum gauge increase, so go ahead and do it all again. So, orb change, we use the giveaway, we use Gabiru, so we don't have enough to use the wind boost here. But, so that's the offset. It's either use the wind boost or use the orb change to get the 6 hand of blues. So it's whatever works out for you on your turn. So sending 6 blues, double Gabiru here, we'll get Diablo's alt. Everything is hunky-dory, right? So, and we're actually not using the hero for once in Jubilee. Or, well, in boss battle. You definitely can. I'm sure I will have a team that uses it whenever I record the alternate teams video. But for at least this meta team, no hero. Alright, so we've sent that. We get a very lucky hand here, though. No oranges. We don't need to keep Diablo here, so I'm going to use the wind buff. I somehow have got into my head that the wind buff is for everybody like Ramaris, and it's not. It's only for the highest attack unit, which is fine. It is whatever. Diablo is wind boosted now, so we don't have to worry about using that. And now we can use Gabiru. 6-handed blues, which is very, very lucky. Technically, I could use Gabiru again to make sure we have maximum points, but we're super close. Like, we're, what, a couple points away. So we go ahead and use both debuffs. They both last for 2 turns. It's magic resistance, wind, and crit resistance down. So it's a significant amount of debuffs right there. And I use Gabiru again anyways, because we make up those points that we just used. So send, send, send. Millum will go last because she's the strongest hitter out of all these units. So we're looking good. Turn 4. So he's at half health right now. I don't think my Diablo will kill if I nuked here and now with no other follow-up. But the hand is not terribly unlucky. and we have enough points to use, I believe, everything that we need to. Because again, we need 80 points, and we will get 15 from Gabiru, so we have enough to use the alt boost and the crit boost. We've already used the wind boost. We've already used the attack boost. Diablo needs the magic boost still, which we can apply once he comes in, so that's fine. I believe I swapped Trainee out for him, and then we have 4 blues, I think, or 3 blues and then the alt, one of them being Diablo's, so thinking right now who to swap out, and I eventually settle on Trainee. Eventually. Like, I could have swapped Dino out, he wasn't really necessary now, but I wanted maximum orbs, because I was hoping against hope that Diablo's alt orb would take over Trainee's orange, and it does not. So, still thinking. There we go. We're going to settle on Trainee, and it changes the blue, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, go ahead and use Gabiru, get the magic boost on Diablo, get the extra points, that way you can use his crit buff right there, and then we have literally everything. Everything that we could possibly want, besides a full 6-card send. So, sending the 3 blues, not a lot, very good amount, 17.7 thousand, and then his alt does 116.7. So there is my EX boss battle kill. I believe that is also my highest score for EX, and I don't foresee it getting much better unless I get like an entire hand of blues right there. So there you go. I hit the stop record button. 5,000 points and change right there. So that is Jubilee using, very strong, using the space team and the wind team for, for everything. Space team for normals, wind team for boss battle. I will be back with another video going over alternate teams that you can use, especially for boss battle. But let me know in the comments if this particular video, helped you out, because you did summon for the wind meta, and you do have a very good space team. Did it help you out? Did it increase your score? What teams did you actually end up using if you don't have, the space and the wind team? Leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely check them out during my testing runs. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.